Be smart. Okay. Yeah, this is just for the chess. The boss is not here, so bummer. Let's try. Okay, well, life. I have life. Yeah, life is always good. Should I try this? Yeah, I should try this. Oh, this crap.
You won't try it.
Yeah, but they're all crap. Oh, the exit's so far. That's the problem with those maze-like maps. You can just lose a lot of time.
Dude, it's still alive.
Do you have multicam?
Cards.
Okay, so we have a second stream with a card on the main stream.
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good. So what do we have on our second stream? So I can tell people?
The view of the room.
So if you guys want to view the room, there's a secondary stream.
Yeah.
Ow.
I wanted to put in, you know, I don't know what you like.
Where's the exit? Alright, good. Oh, here's the boss. Ouch. So it's a Lyra. The Witch of the Cauldron. And she's dead. And she dropped nothing that we can use, actually. Bummer. But we're going to get a little bit more life. We still only have like 200 life. Hopefully I can get to
Hey Mark, which one did you
1,000
do that with us?
as soon as possible. So should I get... Oh, Regal.
Turn off this guy.
Oh, nice. I get some support gems. So let's see what can I support my Spectral Throw with. So I can add additional lightning damage. That's nice. And I'll be able to get additional fire damage to my fire trap. So that's not bad at all. I'll just keep leveling this added cold damage for the future. That wasn't a bad choice. Oh, and I also have this Regal, which means that I could make this yellow item. Yes, more life. That's awesome.
You actually had it made, huh?
Cool.
Well, I got it for free.
So, okay, so I'm getting close to 250 life. That's okay for level 9.
Spend the money.
Oh, no. You don't spend it.
After I get this this large node here, that will be 20 life plus 14 extra maximum life. That's going to be really good. So, yet another maze, man.
Yeah, I got a whole.
Ooh, okay, a yellow. It's been a while since I saw a yellow mob. Is this the first yellow mob? I think
Sleep
so.
now, little nightmare.
Sleep now, little nightmare.
Nice.
Oh, yet another. Oh, I see there will have a lot of yellow mobs here. Alright, so we have... Oh, yet another yellow. This yellow gives a slow aura,
I might just earn my
and
one
they do
share
give you a lot of
yet.
XP. Yellow mobs in general, so that's also good. Which means that I'll get my big node, so my life will go from 256, which is a really satisfying number. Unfortunately, will change to 314, which is really good life now. Let's look for more yellow mobs then, or just a buttload of spiders. Oh, there's a yellow spider here. There's 2 yellow spiders here, so this might get a little bit too hard, too fast. Now damage output is pretty good. Where did he win? Oh, there's a blue pack here. Oh, I can totally see the support gems doing the extra damage. That's good. So I also got a sapphire ring, which will give me some cold resistance. I think it will be good to carry each one of their resist rings, just if I get a boss that do a lot of damage from one of the elements. That might help. So another yellow boss, not boss, but leader. Sometimes they can get some really nasty mods, so you just need to pay attention and read what they do, especially on hardcore. One of the nasty modes that those guys can have is Corrupting Blood. So for every hit that you give to a monster, you get this debuff that is just like a damage over time that you get, and they all stack. So if you don't pay attention, you can go down really fast. So good habit is to keep reading what the yellow monsters do. Or they, yeah. And leg. Ooh, okay, I didn't die, so that's good. Let's see what else we have here. Is that another dead end? Oh, damn it. Stop with the dead ends. Oh, procedurally. Ooh, big spider. That's a pretty scary spider here. Spiner of False Hope. And I'm not damaging it at all. Alright, now I got you. Awesome. That was really good damage right there. What I got? I get a wand. I don't care about that. I'll check those boots. I'll check this mace. And that's it, because I don't have a lot of scroll of identify. Okay, now I got my life. Maybe I should go for yet additional damage. So where do I go for damage? If I want to do projectile damage, I should go into this direction, which is the ranger direction. So maybe I go this way. I can go this way for more strength. That won't help me a lot. Maybe I'll get the attack speed here and then go in this direction. Yeah, sounds good. Oh, look at this guy. He was 32 on the ladder, level 22, and he just died. So sad. You guys probably see this message about my character in time now. Let's see. What? Should I check the curious again? I'll get more support gems. Maybe I'll try the alluring this time. Ooh, lots of money. Oh, and I get movement skills. So I can have leap slam, which will use, actually. This will make me jump through. Okay, I can make... Okay, this I won't use at all. This I might use. It's pretty much of a caster. I can reroll it. Okay, cold damage, that's better. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's crap. Yeah, I don't think I'll get anything better than that, so... Anyway, let's keep moving. Thanks, Marc, for the coffee. That was good.
Dude, they're out of the chocolate milk.
What?
And the coffee's... Marc didn't add any sugar or cream.
Yeah, it still tastes coffee-y.
It's coffee.
Coffee in the morning.
Sorry I didn't cater to you better.
God,
Sorry I don't serve you the way you deserve, Warren. Okay, so now I have statues. So statues are kind of a pain because they do have a lot of armor. So because I'm doing mostly physical damage, it will take some time to kill them. As you guys can see, when I'm... but my fire traps will actually be pretty good against them. Or I can just skip them. But when they're in a big pack like this, it's really awesome. Alright, on the next chest, I probably want to try the Curious one, because I definitely want to try to get some support gems to give me multiple projectiles. That'll just make my life so much easier. Because the way this game works is you need to modify your gems with those support gems, right? So the only gems that I'm using so far is those kind of gems that just give me more damage. Those are not really fun ones. They're pretty much as standard as you can get. But you can do all sorts of modification. For example, something you can do is add multiple projectile to whatever skill you're using, right? So for Spectral Troll, that will mean that instead of just having one weapon that I throw, I'll get multiple ones, which will definitely increase my ability to clean up packs like this. Not great for bosses though, but great for packs. Oh. Don't go below half life. That's how you die. You need to keep furiously using potions in this game. That's actually a good thing, because you always need to be smart and always making fast decisions. It's pretty easy so far. I think I'm still on normal difficulty. Usually in the regular game you need to finish the game once to get to Merciless, and then you finish the game again, like the story, to get to Cruel. Cruel is where it really starts to get challenging. But here, playing with this race, I don't know exactly how it works. I'm still normal difficulty. I'm just assuming that eventually it will switch. Okay, lots and lots of statues. Those large statues take forever to die. Please don't be another dead end. Oh, so many statues. Oh, that's scary. Good thing is, because I got a little bit more life, or I got some life nodes and so on, I don't get stunned that easy, because stun is based on your life pool. And if you get stunned while getting all those arrows, that's very deadly. So that's helped me out. And of course, potioning like there is no tomorrow. Especially on the mana side. And these decoy totem saved my life so many times. Look at all the archers. They're all focusing fire on my totem. So that means that all that damage not coming to me, which means I'm still alive. Oh, Scroll of Wisdom, Scroll of Wisdom. Okay, a little bit more attack speed. Usually if you go with a two-hand weapon, a two-hander, you won't care so much about attack speed. But because I'm not actually meleeing, and most of the time I'll be using projectiles with the Spectral Throw, attack speed is pretty good. Oh my god, so many. Oh, this is just a freaking large chest. Do I have anything good here? Okay, a sword. Maybe the sword will be really good. So what I can do is I can add all quality, and oh, I don't need. I need transmutation orb to make it rare, or if I'm really lucky, I'm looking for an alchemy orb, which will turn this white item into a rare item, like a yellow item. But I don't have any.
Because I'm doing his highlights here.
Okay, where do I have to go? All that way to the north, hopefully. Okay, really large pet here. And I got frozen. Ouch. Come on, get out of that. So many statues, I hate those statues. They take forever to die. It just slugs you. Okay, let's see, should I get... Which one is one again? Okay, I got 2 alchemy. That's good. Got newer potions. That's also good. I can leave this crappy potion behind. And let's try our luck with our alchemy. And it's good. 18 to 30 plus some elemental damage. Yeah. Yeah, plus additional speed. Okay. I think we can actually take a look. So we're going from 36.6 DPS to 48. Yeah, that's great. And even without the support. So let's see what I'll do with the support. Can I support it with additional fire damage? Yes. And then I can put my fire trap with some additional lightning damage. And this will go to the floor. Should I get any of those? Not really. I don't need this as well. I also have, well, let's save this alchemy for when it's needed. Maybe the boss will be here. Oh, the boss is a statue. Come on. Why are you doing this to me? Oh no, I got frozen. Ooh. Ah, that was hard. Sorry for the girly scream. Now I got you. There you go. And I got a sword. It's a one hand. Some gloves and a shield. Well, probably not gonna go shield anyway. And two-hander. Hey, I think it's worth to take a look. And another passive, which will be more attack speed. Let's take a look at those guys. So critical strike chance, 1426 with additional code and lightning. This is particularly good. Let's see. Yeah, because then I might consider the shield. Let's take a look. So let me just keep it here. So currently I'm doing 58.2, and then I can do.
I'm using one of the Elgato defaults, complete with the Elgato logo.
55. So it's a little bit less damage, but I'll have additional mana, additional resistance, and a 26% chance of block. Okay, let's try this way. And then I'll have additional. Where's the cold damage? Here we go. And added fire. It's not gonna go anywhere. I'll just leave it here. Let me save this. I actually will switch those. Attack speed for, well, life gain is pretty good. Okay, I'm good. Let's keep moving. Let's see how long do we have. Areas have the same layout for all players. Oh, that's nice to know. The Frozen Abyss. Okay, now it's cruel. What that means is that our defenses really got a penalty. So now I only have like 3% lightning resistance, so I need to pay attention to lightning resists. And I should start looking for resist gear. This will make me survive a little bit better. Something I could do, let's make this a rare item. So I can have some fire resist. Oh, that's really crappy ring. Should I use this? I don't know. Okay, let's keep moving this way. I have, yeah, my fire resist pretty good. Not pretty good, but it's okay. And I got some intelligence from somewhere, which means that I can actually keep leveling up the support gem. Oh, boo. Blue group here. Okay, these layouts usually have a lot of monsters, so we're talking about monster density. We have spirit walkers. Need to pay attention with the cold damage, can really get me killed. Get out of there! Frozen. So, big back here. That was pretty good. XP wide. Yet another sapphire ring. I want a ring that gives me lightning resist. Although cold resist here is pretty good as well, because all those sirens, they do a lot of cold damage. And I expect the boss here to do tons of cold damage as well. Just if, you know, they follow the theme, which they tend to do. Okay, dead end. Oh god. Another fun thing of playing hardcore is that you always get a little bit extra scared. Which can be fun if you like that thing. For the regular game, it's kind of crappy because very often you'll die not because you're stupid, but because your connection sucks. Which is not ideal, I think, in terms of the whole experience. Okay, that's a pretty good back here. I'll get a lot of cold damage. Another thing that you guys are probably not listening right now is all the great music that this game has. It's really good. And if you don't know, Path of Exile is a free game, so you can just download it. It's available on Steam. It's Windows only, so this might be a little bit restrictive for some people. But it's fully free to play. Just pick your copy, start playing it. Ouch. And also have this game has one of the most active Reddit communities as well. And the CEO of the company actually posts there all the time, so they have great support. Let's see what I got from this boss. A longsword? That's great. Club, and yet another sapphire ring. Okay, the game definitely wants me to wear one of those. Let's try to take a look at this longsword. Give me some resist, additional cool damage, but no basic damage, right? So 1426 to, yeah, this is really crappy damage. That's not good. So something I could do is switch, if I got life into one of those rings, that will work, but with no life, that's really tough. Oh, and I have a skill point. I forgot about that. So you get a passive point every time you level up. In the main game, you also get passive skills, passive points when you complete some quests. But here, apparently, it's just the leveling. Let's A lot of mobs. Really open area. Let's see if we can actually get this. Whoa, that's a lot of sirens. My totem just disappeared in a second. Nice crits. Kill them. Great. More elementals. Alright, I guess we're done. Oh, got a scouring orb. Come on, mobs. Give me 1 second. So yet another stack speed. Yeah, that will be good. Here. So the next level is going to be the good one. Okay, so there's a person playing this race which is already on level 29 and I am level 14. So, and I just got back to where I started, and that's why I'm not winning this race at all. Let's get out of this. Okay, blue monsters, I need to get them for the XP.
Power corrupts and corruption empowers.
There you go. Oh, the good skill point. Okay, so my damage now it's 64. And again, I'm still using a one-hander. So I expect to get really... Where's the exit? Oh, damn it. All the way. And the exit was to the south all the time. It's probably here. Nope, dead end. Damn mazes. Okay, let's try to avoid all those white mobs. Okay, let's kill the yellow mob. Let's focus here. There you go. Got our yellow armor. And I want skills because I want support gems. So I'll try the curious chest. But I should have used the other one. I just got a bunch of jewelers. Oh, a Chaos Orb. So with this, I can craft this bastard sword, and that's what I'll try to do. What that means? What that means is that first I'll add quality to it, so it's going to be a 20% quality, right? That adds basic physical damage. Then I'll make it magical, or actually I think I'll just make it rare with the alchemy orb, and hopefully we'll get something really good out of it. Okay, we added some basic damage. There's some global crit multiplier. The overall damage is not that great. It's better than my old one though. Alright, let's try that. Let's also take a look at the chest. The chest is crap. It's life though. Okay. And lightning damage, fire trap. Okay, I have nowhere to put my fire trap. So as you guys can see, I'm starting to get out of sockets, right? And I think that's why the game decided to give me some jeweler orbs. So for example, what I could do is to just roll orbs on this sockets, right? This orb will re-roll the number of sockets. So now I got 3, for example, which is way better. So I can have my fire trap with some added fire damage. So let's try the new sword. So from 65, I'll go to 84. All right, that was losing all my defense from the shield, so that looks good. Let's see if there's anything I really want to roll. Okay, I definitely want to make this magic with some extra floss charges. That's pretty good.
Gotta be on chat, man.
The chat is happening.
Yeah, we got
Finally.
some chat.
All right.
Chatter.
What's going on?
Nice.
This looks like a free-to-play Diablo 2. Well, it is, but way better in all aspects. I'm actually going to I'll talk about like why this is so much better than Diablo in all aspects after I finish this race, because then I'll go through the story, and it does look a little bit crappy sometimes, especially when you're using those kind of style sets like this one. It feels like an old game, right? But there's other newer tile sets that looks way better. I think the game looks great. It's really a stylish style thing, I think. The animations are typically really good. The art for, not only the art for the 2D things like weapons and things like that, is really great. Like you can see the details of all the armor and weapons. They're really great. But also the 3D art. What happened? Oh, the race ended. So what that means is that I
You asking us?
got to level 15. Well, because when the race ends, you just, everything freezes because the server just stops, right? And felt like a super lag thing. But you got a message on the chat. It's just because I was paying attention to the YouTube chat, so I didn't pay attention to the game chat. So in the end, people got to almost level 30. I got to level 15, so I'm half as good as the best people. I'm not unhappy with that.
Set the bar high.
All right, and what happens? So everybody that participates in a race, you get some points. Those points add up, and then you get some items. Of course, that if you finish on the top of the ladder, depending on the class you pick, you get some exclusive items, right? I probably won't get anything because I probably got like 5,000 position or something. But I'll get some points, and if I get enough of them, I'll get some. You can get like unique art items or something like that. All right, so we just finished the race. I have a lot of characters, as you guys can see, right? Most of my characters they're in the standard league, but I have a couple on the hardcore. Just 2 of them, actually. Anyway, so now, let's talk about why Path of Exile is better than Diablo. And
Get into what people really care about.
yes, and why is that? Right? We have reasons. First of all, Path of Exile, it's like a natural evolution of Diablo 2, right? It's really based on Diablo 2. If you do remember a couple of special moments
This is a
from,
full screen moment.
I know, we need to pay attention here. So things like, do you remember the sound effect when you open a chest in Diablo and you hear all the items flipping, like a, that's a fun memory that you have. So you get that, right? That's the most important thing. The other thing is Diablo 3 went into a really different direction, right, from Diablo 2. It's way more casual. It's the Blizzard way now, right? It's way more casual.
Filthy.
It's easy to play. You don't get a lot of customization. You don't get a lot of choice, right? It's a fun game to play, right? I don't think you shouldn't play Diablo at all. I think it's one of the best couch experiences that you can get multiplayer with your friends in the PS4, right? So go for it. But if you're on your PC and you have Windows, I think you should be playing Path of Exile instead of Diablo. Either 2 or 3. If you're playing Diablo 2, maybe you don't want to play newer games anyway. So do whatever makes you happy. Okay, now let's go to the game and see why this is fun, right? Why it makes this game special. So let me pick one of my characters that I'm playing the most recently, which is Karina Chaos. So there are 2 aspects that makes this really fun game, I think. The first one is the way the skill system works, and the other one is the skill tree. So let's start with the skill system. To showcase them, I'll go to my hideout. Let's get there. All right. So let's go to some open space. All right. So here's how it works. For each one of the items, right, you get those sockets, those colored sockets, and they can be linked, right? And this is the system that works for you getting an active skill that will get a lot of support gems. So you'll modify your skill with those support gems. How that works, let me show. So the main skill that I decided to use with this particular character is caustic arrow, right? So you fire an arrow that will deal additional chaos damage, which is kind of poison damage in the Path of Exile. And if hits, it creates a caustic cloud, basically arrow of effect that will keep doing damage. All right, so let me remove all the support gems. Usually you don't get very easily a 6 linked item like this one. This is a pretty expensive item that you're only gonna get after playing a while. But it's not hard to get like a 5 linked item, and it's very easy to get a 4 link, right? And even with 4 link, you can get end game builds, right? It's definitely not required to have a 6 link item. And I only get my first 6 link that I built after playing for 1,500 hours of this game. So I won't recommend this for everyone. It can drain your life. Anyway, so I'm using Caustic Arrow, right? And the first thing that happens is that this is already a level 20 gem, so you can level your gems as well, right? So when you start the game, you have the level of your character, and 10% of your XP goes to your gem, and the gems will level up. For gems that are more physical, the damage they do, it's kind of related to the weapons that you're using, but for spell gems like Fireball or Firestorm or something like that, the damage is just based on the level of the gem. So they typically tend to follow suit into your character level. So usually when you get to the end game, the gems are around like level 16 or so. And if you can get them to level 20, which takes some time, they get really strong. All right, so this bowl that I'm using adds 1 to level of socket gems. Like any gems that I sock to this item will get 1 additional level. And it gives 2 level to socket bow gems. So because this Caustic Arrow do have the bow keyword, right? This gem has attack, AoE, duration, chaos, and bow keywords, right? So because it has the bow keyword, we'll get 2 levels. So that's why I'm getting plus 3 levels from item, right? Which means that this Caustic Arrow, just to start with, it's a level 23 gem, which is pretty good. That means that it will do 700 base chaos damage per second, and it will have 10 increased area of effect radius. That's because this gem also have 20% quality. You can add quality to a gem later on. And finally, I also gain 52% of your physical damage as extra chaos damage. This is also something that will scale as you level your gem. All right. So if I just use this gem the way it is, right? You go there and you create this chaos area here. I'm shooting 2 arrows at once, as you guys can see, leaving from my bow, 2 arrows at a time. That's because my class add me this power. You could have additional arrows from things like quivers, or getting from your skill tree like I got. But now we're going to modify this caustic arrow with the support gems. So the first gem that I'll add is increased area of effect. This will add a 37 increased area of effect radius and 10% increased area damage, right? Take a look at the size of the area now, right? It's a way larger area. So the idea is that with this, not only I'll do 10% increased damage, but it will also affect more mobs. But because the area is pretty good already without the increased area of effect, something I can do is a concentrated effect support. That will give me 10 increased area damage, but 25% less area of effect. But the more important thing is 58% more area damage. So basically, in terms of area, one gem will, counter the other, but both damage will be added, right? So now I have the same size that I had before, but I'm doing way more damage, right? So we can get an idea. Let's take a look at the original damage, right? So this is the caustic arrow, and I'm doing around, the important line is not the DPS on the top, but if you look at the one before last line, deals 5,000 chaos damage per second, right? That's what I want to increase. That's the line that I really want to see getting as higher as possible. So once I add these 2 support gems, this changes to, well, this don't change here because it doesn't update the tooltip, but it will give me 10 plus 10, 59 more, 25% less. So that will give me around, let's do quick math here, 20 more increase, 24 more. All right. Because the way the math works is you add all the increased damage, and then after all this math is applied with all the increase and all the reduce, then you apply the more and less area into the final. So you add all the increase, but you multiply all the more, right? So for example, if you have 100% increased damage, imagine that you do 100 points of damage, and then you have 100 increased damage. That means that it will double your damage from 100 to 200 from all the increased damage, and then you have more damage that will add to the final number. But the increased damage only applies to the original damage that you have, but more damage will apply to everything. So more, it's way better. Okay, now I'll add a void manipulation support. That will increase my chaos damage, it will reduce my elemental damage that I don't do in any way, and will do more chaos damage. Again, more, it's way better than increased. Let's see if that updates the tooltip from 5,000 to 7,000. Yes, that gave me almost 50% increase in damage on the tooltip.
Marc's taking breakfast orders.
Mark, what?
In the chat, Marc's taking breakfast orders.
Breakfast?
You want
From Carl's Jr.? No, I'm good.
What?
Yeah.
Commie bastard.
But go ahead. Ask whatever you want. Because today my wife actually decided to have a day off. Because why not? So I'll have to go back to stay with the kids, and I'll probably try to be with you guys later as they go to sleep.
Was that the compromise of today?
That was it. Yes. Let's add rapid decay. That will give me damage over time. This is not specific for chaos damage, but because my skill do damage over time, this will give me more damage over time. So that will change my 7,000 chaos damage to 10,000 chaos damage. And the last but not least is to add an empower support. This is one of the rare gems that you can get in this game. And not only it's rare, but it's also corrupted, meaning that we added a random effect that could have destroyed the gem, but actually gave another level to the gem. So this is kind of rare, kind of expensive item, but this will give this will add 3 levels to the supported active skill gems. Again, all those gems are getting +1 because of the ball, right? They do give 1 level to socket gems. So even in power support, it's a level 5 support gems, which means it will give 5 levels to the support active gems. So my caustic arrow, it's actually level 27, and that's why my damage can go up to 15, up almost 16,000 chaos damage per second. And there's a lot of things that doesn't add to the tooltip, but actually modifies your damage, so your damage is probably higher than that. And how that works in real life. So let's go through to one of the latest story maps, right? So this will be very easy because the map is level 70 and I'm level 90. And so that won't do justice, but just so you guys can see the damage of the arrow in action. So here we go. I'll just start my auras. So usually what I do is to first get a bunch of frenzy charges using this attack that does give me frenzy charges. With that, I can up my damage to 21,000, and then I just easily create those clouds that insta-kill enemies. Right? Again, this is going to be super easy because this is not the kind of map you'll be doing by then. Right? This is just to showcase how it will be. Let's do a quick mini boss here.
Body to kill for.
Just add a poison cloud. And that's it. Oh, I almost died. Yeah, you still need to pay attention. Alright, this is how it goes. Let me keep moving. So the cool thing about those support gems is because you can do all sorts of customization of your skills. So there's a lot of customization in this game, right? You can modify the skills to be, the totem can cast them. You can convert curses to auras. You can make your auras larger. You can make your skill that it's a single fire skill, like a focus fire skill, to be applied to a group of enemies. And you can get skills that apply to a group of enemies and really make it concentrated to a single thing. You also have traps. You can customize the traps. You can convert any skill into a trap as well, right? So even if it's something like a fireball, you can add a fireball to a trap, and now you have a trap that once activated fires a fireball, for example. So this gives a lot of ideas, so you always think about what should I build next. So I think this is one of the coolest things. And a lot of those builds will just not work, right? Some of them will do okay, but they're not going to be great for the end game. And that's fine, right? I think the fun part is really do all the experimenting. What else? So those are, the skills and how they support. And they're really good. There's a lot of different support. There's a lot of variety of skills and support gems. The other thing, and some people think this is actually a not great thing, is the skill system, right? Because it can be really daunting. You have all this skill 3 with skills to pick up. And yeah, it can be challenging at first, right? Because you really need to know what you're doing, because if you go to the wrong side, if you just pick things that are not synergetic, you can get to a point where it's really hard to keep progressing with your character. But I think that's the rewarding thing of harder games, right? You need to invest a little bit. And games like EVE Online, right? Like it can be challenging, but once you learn things, it's much more rewarding, right? Simpler games, they're fun, and you can just sit there and start playing, and that's fine. But sometimes you just want to invest a little bit more, so it can be more rewarding as well. Like once you can make a build works, and you kind of study the tree, and you kind of see that it's working. And yeah, Alan can totally talk about how Eve can be rewarding by being challenging, right? And here's the challenge. It's really about how can I customize this thing to really create a character that I want, following the build that I want. And something that they added in one of the last expansions is the concept of, because the class customization is not that customized, right? So you have different 3D animations for different kind of classes, but the classes just change the place where you start on the tree, right? So if I play Duelist, I'll start here. If I play a Ranger, I'll start here. But of course, I can play a Ranger and build a tree that will get me to this area, right? So they're not as unique. It's different from Diablo, where a Barbarian will feel very different from a Mage from the start and even in the end of the game. Here, the characters can feel a little bit the same, right? Because they all have access to the same things. And of course, any character could use any gems as long as they have the attributes. But something that they added in one of the later expansions is the Ascendancy classes. So each one of those classes, they can pick specific Ascendancy classes that will give customizations that are available just for specific classes. So, for example, let me get a regular character here. I have this.
Logging into Steam. Do you know why?
I have this character, which is a guardian, right? So I build like a support character. I can kill monsters with this guy. It's really about multiplayer experience. And what happened here is he's a guardian, right? So I started here as a Templar.
Are you wired or Wi-Fi?
My computer?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever it was set up here before.
Actually, it looks like you're Wi-Fi.
I think so, yeah. That's not plugged in.
All right, yeah.
Anyway, so what happens that I can have different. We have 3 different ascendancy classes for each one of the characters, and depending on what you pick, you really customize your character. And the Guardian's all about sharing things with your allies, right? So my auras will buff my allies, so it's really a support character. And this is just one of the options, right? So those are the reasons that I think this makes a great game. So let's talk about the story of the game. I'll just start a very quick new character just so I can go through the beginning of the story. I'll get the music as well, because I think the music is great, and we can explore that a little bit as we get closer to Warren's stream that will start in 30 minutes or so. All right, let's see if I still have a slot for creating a new character. No, I already reached the maximum number of characters, so I'll have to delete a character first. So I can delete this character. That's the character that I just played before, right? But because the race ended, now this character is just stale and goes to this void league, so I can easily delete it. And I'll create a new character. There's this concept of leagues. This is similar to seasons for people familiar with Diablo. That just means that, yeah, I got a comment here from Cav. That was the skill tree. Can be daunting. Yeah, but you start, every time that you level, you get 1 point. So you go slowly, right? You don't need to plan the whole thing ahead. You can just start, and all the starting areas, there's no wrong options there. As you go further, then you have some hard decisions. Okay, so challenges, challenge leagues. Standard is where all the characters are, and every once in a while you have those different leagues. They'll all always have some special things about them, some exclusive uniques and things like that. So currently we're running the Essence League. This is almost finishing by now. I think it will finish in a couple weeks. So people creating new characters, usually they join the new league. After the league ends, all the characters are moved to the standard league, and they'll create a new league so people start from scratch. I think it's really fun to start from scratch because it's a fresh economy. You know, you can trade with other people with normal prices. Things that go to standard, they all got a lot of inflation, and you always have the new thing to play with. Let's just create a character here on Essence. It doesn't change much. So the story of the game is, this is ship, right? And if you listen to the guy talking, basically you're in exile from Oriath, which is the mainland. And you're being exiled to Reckless, which is a really bad place. And you can play as one of those 6 different classes. You can be the Templar.
I fought, wept, and bled for God.
The Templar is armored
brothers,
class,
every single one. And how do they reward my piety?
and his strength is that he can do magic with a lot of strength, so some interesting combinations. His weakness is that he don't wear pants ever in the game. So if you don't ever want to wear pants, play with the Templar.
And my faith.
Then you have the Shadow. The Shadow is intelligence, dexterity build. So usually you're gonna get energy shield and really fast characters with a lot of attack speed, this kind of thing. That's his strength. His weakness is he's kind of a downer. So his voice is kind of always talking about like how shitty his life is. So that's the option. Then you have the Marauder. The Marauder is that classical tank, strength-based character. He's a Karui, which is kind of based on the Maori from New Zealand, right? So the creators of this game, Grinding Gear Games, they're based in New Zealand, so they use a lot of their local history and folklore to create their world, right? So if you want to play with a really badass kind of guy, you have the Marauder here. The downside is that it has a little bit slower gameplay because you're more tanky, so you can lack on damage. So I wouldn't recommend that as a really good experience for your first character. Then you have the Ranger.
Not a deer's, not a rabbit's, and not mine. Every creature has a birth-given right to live however it will.
So she's a little bit of a nature lover, which can be a little bit annoying, but it's a full dexterity character. If you like ranged, pick the Ranger. If you like shooting arrows and stuff.
They call me poacher and thief.
She does have some funny dialogues with the characters. She's kind of gay, which is cool as well. But the Duelist has the best butt in the game. So, and a lot of other NPCs will talk about it. He is the dexterity strength character, good for melee builds that use a lot of attack speed. So if you want a melee that's kind of slow and heavy, pick the Marauder. If you want a melee that is really fast and using a rapier or a claw, you might want to play a Duelist. And finally you have the Witch, which is the typical spellcaster.
Had they not taken my home with fire, I would not have taken their children.
She's really dark and scary, and some of her dialogues is kind of creepy. I think if you like spells in general, it's a good character to start with. I think I'll probably start with the Witch for this. And finally, once you finish the game for the first time, you unlock the Scion.
Dresses, dances.
So she's a really show-off, and she talks a lot. Long lines of dialogue. She complains about her past life. She was kind of spoiled kid before being exiled to Reckless. And she's a little bit more difficult to play with because she starts in the middle of the skill tree, so you have so many options, and that's why it's good. It's not available at first. So let's start with the Witch.
They were right to fear me.
And see how it goes.
To their cowardice.
So we'll just live for extra life YTG Witch. You can add a real name, but all the good names are taken anyway. So
But to me,
I don't know why they keep using this unique name thing. All right. So here where it starts. So your boat actually crashes. I don't know what happens, but all the exiles are all spread into this beach, and you just woke up here and just moves
The very
around.
sand shivers with malice. There's a power here that welcomes me.
Yeah, this is a dark place, and hopefully and gladly we have this wand to start with, and we have another exile that was how do you call when people are at the beach and they just crash their boat? What?
Marooned?
Yeah, but
Marooned.
they are castaways.
Yeah, stranded, I guess.
Stranded. That's what I'm looking for. Stranded, because this is the Twilight Strand. That's the name of this map.
Bastards dumped near 24 of us off that ship. You and me were all that survived the swim. Never was much difference between exile and the death sentence. Once I catch my breath here, we'll take a look around, see what Rayclass has on offer. I thought I saw smoke at those ruins.
Alright, so this exile has a lot of hope for his future, and then he's eaten by a hungry corpse. And we can just fire with our wand and kill it. And now we have a fireball.
For me, not against me.
So I'll have to equip this fireball, and now I'm able to cast it. I'll just use the right button to shoot fireballs.
I probably shouldn't.
Alright, let's start to explore
I forgot who I
this
talked to.
Twilight Strand and see if we have more zombies around.
It's still early days.
Oh, we do have more zombies. We have drowned creatures. Alright, so now you start your average action RPG experience. You just keep killing creatures, getting their loot, so on and so forth. As I mentioned during the race, something that is different is that you do use your potions a lot, right? Like, typically when you're playing, for example, like Diablo, you only really use your potions in a pinch, right? And here you're probably going to be using them all the time. You can see that my mana gets drained pretty fast if I keep spamming fireballs, so you might want to optimize their use. And you can also see that there is a small area of effect once the fireball reaches the target, so hopefully you can also focus on using all that damage, right? I got a second wand. I can actually double wield once, which is pretty cool. This will increase my output damage, but it won't change the damage of my fireball, right? Because the damage of the fireball is tied to the gem. So if I want to do more damage with the fireball, I just need to level up my gem. However, for those basic attacks that I can do with my wands, those are proportional to the physical damage of that wand. Something that might happen from time to time is, let's see if we can make it happen for demonstrations purposes, is to get
I'd be a dead woman by
some
now.
enemies getting ignited, just like that, right? So there are three kinds of elemental status that you could give to enemies. You can ignite them, you can electrocute them, and you can freeze them, right? Based on lightning, fire, and cold damage. These status can be really powerful, especially later in the game. So I leveled up, right? As I got to level 2, I get my first passive skill point available. And let's see how this is not as scary as it looks like, right? To start with, you only have two options. I can either get a little bit more damage with my spells, or I can get a little bit more defensive and get a little bit more of energy shield. Okay, so what energy shield means? So besides life and mana, which is pretty much standard in the game, you also have this energy shield, which I don't have any right now, but I could get if I get that skill points or if I get different pieces of equipment. This will be on top of my life and will regenerate. You know, doesn't depend on any life regen. Energy shield always regenerate. So this is something that I could use. I'll actually pick that just so you guys can see how that works. Now I have 15 points of energy shield, right? So it just regenerates by itself, and if I take any damage, let's take any damage from this guy here, right? It took out of my energy shield that after a while will just regenerate itself. So it's typically the defense from spellcasters because it's based on your intelligence, right? While life is based on your on your strength, which is typically not really large for spellcasters. So you can either do both. You can have like a hybrid life energy shield, or there's some options to be fully energy shield based. Another thing that makes Path of Exile more interesting and different from other games is that there is no gold. There is no monetary value dropping from creatures. What that means is that it uses a different currency system based on those orbs. So basically, you get those orbs, they always do something. Usually they improve your equipment, and you use those orbs to buy equipment. If you want to buy some equipment, you don't have to because equipment drop all the time from creatures. But as you want to either trade with other players, or when you sell the crap that you get on the floor to the NPCs, you get more of those orbs, right? And that's how the currency system works. I'm probably gonna get close to the first mini boss here. But again, as the story flows, you're just surviving this first encounter with the creatures of raw class, right? So apparently there's something going on here that's making all this maroon people getting turned into zombies. And now we see Hillock, this huge giant man with a sword in his chest trying to get to me. So let's burn him a little bit with some fireballs. Hopefully we can ignite him. Usually you ignite when you crit, but you can get, there we go. He took out his sword. And now he will do way more damage. Let's try to avoid. He's not really fast, so it's not hard to just keep away from him. Let's get, oh, ignite can do a lot of damage over time, which is pretty good. There you go. He dropped some things. We'll pick everything. And our fireball also leveled up. So it's only doing 7 to 10 damage now. And now it's doing 8 to 11 fire damage. So the damage progresses as you level your gem. You also have a base chance of igniting enemies. So when you crit, you always ignite. But you also have a basic chance of igniting from regular damage. And I got some things that I won't need, but I'll just sell for money. And by money, I mean orbs. Let's see how that works. All right. I got here into Lionized Watch. It's a fortified city where the surviving exiles and people native to Warrior class build a surviving area with a lot of people not really in the best conditions. I have my stash with some things from previous characters. Don't worry about this. Let's talk to Nessa.
I saw what you did to Hillock out there, witch. Your black art is the reason you're here in exile. It may also be the only thing that allows you to see another dawn. I'm Nessa, and I suppose I should thank you for ridding us of that putrid giant. Back in Oriath.
Alright, she's an exile from Oriath as well.
Lionized Watch isn't much, but it's ours. We could use you here, while you live. But should you wish to venture out, do just one thing for me.
Alright,
On the coast,
we're looking for this medicine
there must be a
chest.
ship's medicine chest.
Maybe
I
we
have many to care for, and there's only
can
so
find
much I
it.
can do with herbs and seeds.
So let's sell what we got, right? So if I sell this rusted sword, she'll give me a scroll fragment. If I get 5 of those scroll fragments, I'll get a scroll of wisdom, which is a scroll of identify. I can also sell a blue item that will give me shards of transmutation orb, right? So on and so forth. I'll just keep selling stuff. It'll add up to shards and other things like that. I can just drop them into my stash. I'll just grab some additional scroll of wisdom from my previous place here. Let's talk to Bastel.
A wayfish, waterlogged witch, washed up in ray claws. That's the first line of the poem I'm
Okay,
writing
so a
there
poet
on the inside.
in this forsaken
Easy,
land.
though. You could scorch a bloke with a look like that. The name's Bestel, captain of the good ship Mary
Captain
Gull.
of the Marigold.
My Mary Gull's gone. My crew is gone. But my wits remain after a fashion.
I really like the voice acting in this game as
There's an
well.
island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore of the terraces. That's where my Mary
So,
Gull ran aground.
Let's
Watch
go
the
to this
ladies
island.
slip
Maybe the
round
medicine
ship's
chest
door.
is there.
His medicine
Because
chest might
Shaky
still be
Hands
there,
Upton
amongst the splinters
is
and
there.
bones. It'd have everything. This
We can also ask him about Nessa and the Drowned Dead.
Arrow, the Mary Gull's cook, washed up on the rocks over yonder. Dead as a doornail he was. Buried
So
in the
basically
sun.
people that are
Then,
getting
a
killed
few days
here, they are
later,
coming back as
I see him
zombies.
on the beach.
There's also Tarley.
Fine work with Hillock. Where'd you learn to fight like that? No, don't tell me. We exiles have no history.
So basically everybody's kind of down, but he's offering me an additional skill. So what I'll get is Raise Zombie. Raise Zombie will allow me to, well, raise zombies, which is good as a summoner to get some protection, right? Let's see how that works. All right.
I know that stench. Just like my sisters. Upon the pyre.
Yeah, she can be really weird. All right. I kill this crab-like creature, and now I'm able to raise it as a zombie. And now I have one zombie to tank for me, right? I can have up to 3 zombies at a time. Again, with unique items and the passive skill, you can increase this number. And this is also a gem, so you could add support gems to the zombie. For example, if you add additional cold damage, then your zombies will do additional cold damage. If you put a trap into a raised zombie, then you have a trap that once activated will summon a zombie, which is really weird, but it's an option. Let's see if we can find this tidal island. Okay, more zombies and more crabs. As you guys can see, because now I have the zombies, it's really hard for the enemies to reach me out. They're not strong, as you guys can see. They take a lot of damage still. But that's because they're level 1 zombies, so. But because of my zombies and my energy shield, I'm barely taking any damage. I just keep raising them, and it should work. Usually, zombies don't do a lot of damage, so typically you won't care them to do damage, but just soak damage. So usually add life and things like that to them. Oh, I got a armor and a shield. Well, I'll keep dual wielding my wands. Alright, if you guys have any questions so far, feel free to put them on the chat and I'll answer them while I'll select my next passive skill. So I could keep going into this direction and get mana or energy shield, right? Or I could start going into this direction and get some spell damage. So I'll get some spell damage. Let's think about like getting fire damage in general and focus on fireball just to be as simple as possible. So my goal is to get spell damage here with some cast speed to cast faster fireballs, and then eventually get Occultist Dominion, which will give me both spell damage and cast speed. So let's start here. Oh, and I also have an iron hat. So there's no restrictions in terms of armor or weapons you could use, except for the attribute requirements, right? So for example, the super fast bows might require a lot of dexterity that you might not have on your character. And that works because a lot of times in the passive tree, which can be scary, but most of those nodes will be just attributes, right? So if you're walking a lot into this area, you're gonna get a lot of intelligence. If you're walking in this area, you're gonna get a lot of dexterity, and here you have a lot of strength, right? So that's how it works in terms of the attributes, and those will be the requirements for using the items, right? Not the initial items, but the higher level items. And we got a larger group of enemies here. So what are those? Those are cannibals. So not only we have drowned zombies, but the fewer non-undead that we have just resorted to cannibalism. Yeah, red class, you're not a good land. You can also see that the crabs are actually infested with, can you see that there is this weird slugs on top of them? And once you kill them, the slugs get out of the crabs. That's really disgusting. Okay, let's make more zombies. Oh, an impaled corpse where you can just touch for items. How nice. More infested crabs. Oh, and here we have our first, well, second after Hillock boss. It's this Fire Fury. So you keep casting this thing that ignites you. It's not really hard to kill her. Again, like I mentioned, this game has 3 difficulties. You start on normal. Normal, it's like very easy. No challenges, right? You can die as much as you want. You can just play. And what happens is that, and you have defenses. You have different kinds of defenses in this game. So one of the things that you have are the elemental resistance. You have fire, cold, lightning, and chaos resists. And as you progress to higher difficulties, you get penalties on that. So when you get to merciless, I think you get minus 30% or something. And once you get to cruel, you'll get no, cruel is the second difficulty actually. You get minus 30 or something, and then you get up to minus 70. So you need to keep getting better gear with more resist, so you don't get like negative resistance, which means you'll take additional damage from elemental damage, which can be really bad. But the main problem of the higher difficulties is that either in cruel or merciless, when you die, you lose XP. And this is really aggravating. This is really mechanics from the yore, right? Nowadays, I don't think there's any game with no penalties whatsoever for dying, except hardcore games like Demon Souls, right? Or EVE Online. So if you die on Merciless, which is kind of the end game, you're gonna lose 10% of your XP. And if you're getting into really, really end levels, the characters are capped to level 100. So by the time you get to level 90, if you finish an hour of play, you're only gonna get like 2 to 5% of your XP bar. And if you die, you lose 10% of your XP of that level. So basically, if you want to keep progressing at the end game, you can't die at all, right? But here on normal, yeah, you can die as much as you want. Another impaled corpse. Oh, how cute, the balls. Let's keep looking for the Tidal Island. Alright, I got a ring. That's nice. Iron rings are not great for casters, because they only add physical damage, but they'll add to the damage of my wands. I can't forget about keep doing the zombies, because they lose a lot of health. Alright. You can ignore most of the packs like I did in the race if you want. I just want to show everything since this is like the slow pace. You have a waypoint system, pretty much standard. You saw that in Diablo for the first time, I guess. Probably not the first time, but it's pretty much similar. Alright, so I got here to the Tidal Island. Let's search this medicine box while I keep fireballing people. So it's kind of hard to clear those large groups nowadays because I don't have a lot of AoE. But as long as I don't get killed, and all the 3 of my zombies died in that fight, right? So they absorbed most of the damage that I would have taken. Something I could use is definitely more mana potions. I could try to buy one for orbs, but yeah, I didn't do it because I forgot. I'll change the plate vest with simple robe. The reason for doing that is that because simple robe gave me more energy shield, and now I started to get some prereqs, right? It does require some intelligence to wear a simple robe, while this plate vest you don't need anything.
2 Ethernet ports.
All right. So as I'll get this medicine chest and get it back to Nessa, and this is just the start of your adventures in Rare Class. This is where my stream will get to an end. And if you guys are excited about Path of Exile, just go to pathofexile.com, download it, install it, play it. It's a lot of fun. You can also go to the Reddit page. There's a very active community. People answer questions there. It's helpful. It's not your standard troll Reddit subreddit. And finally, if you are one of the 7 people watching right now and you haven't donated yet, go to extralife.org and do your own donation. Don't forget to search for our buffer killer team and do it to help our team. And here I'm fighting Hail Rake with this really large group of mobs, and I might get killed. Let's do more zombies. They need to be here to absorb all the damage. Alright. Most of the mobs are now done. Now it's just the boss. I can just keep spamming fireballs and he'll be dead. There we go. Now I can get this medicine chest. I was lucky to get a mana and a couple blues. Let's just keep going around here, because if I want to go back to the town, I need a town portal scroll. I don't have any, so I'll just have to either walk or hopefully one of these trashy mobs will drop one for me. I can also look at the any chests or any barrels or anything. Maybe I get lucky. Got a chromatic orb and a life flask, but no portal scroll. Alright. So once I deliver this quest, what happens is that you get some reward options. Very often, the reward option that you get are more, it's either items or more skill gems. So you can keep experimenting with the different skills and just find whatever you like. Even if you just want to, spam fireballs, there are a lot of different options for fire spells. Another scroll of wisdom. but no portal. Alright, so I can actually use my waypoint that it's right outside here to go back to town. And get my reward from Nessa.
A medicine chest. This means more to us than you can know. There are some who wouldn't have.
Alright, so I'll get a potion so I can run faster, and that's it. I'm level 4, and I'll just keep exploring the game. So if you like it, do the thing, and thank you. I'm now going to move forward in our agenda. Let me share the agenda with you guys so you guys can see.
Early, huh?
I'm going to show what's happening next,
Okay.
right?
So how does this work? Do you start encoding?
I just start and then.
So here's our agenda for today. So I'm finishing with this Path of Exile segment. We're going to have our friend Warren here. He's going to play some Overwatch. Actually, he'll explain whatever he's going to do. And
play some CS:GO.
And some CSGO. Maybe he's switching things here.
Real toxic, real quick.
And later on, there's going to be a lot of different things. So feel free to stay tuned. Feel free to keep commenting. People are reading the chat and interacting with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy. This is just the beginning of the day. We're going to go all the way 24 hours until tomorrow morning. So just check during the day and see what's going on. Are you ready, Warren?
I'm not ready.
All right, so I need to... You what?
Keep talking.
All right, so I need to keep talking for a couple more minutes.
Stretch.
And let's see if we have any comments here on... This is not a 24 hours event. It's a 25 hours because daylight savings. So extra life means extra hour for you guys. See what I did?